Welcome to the podcast, Let the Prophet Speak. This is Isaiah Yeshayahu 33, Parak Lamed Gimel. We just ended 32, the last chapter, when we discussed the people that stick with God through the ups and the downs of everything. The people that remain faithful and work hard and don't lose hope even when times are down. Remember our translation at the end of Ashreichem Zorei al Kol Mayim, the people that plant no matter what the situation of water is. Mishalchei Regel Ashor V'Achamor, the people that get to work and put their animals to work and try to get whatever they can out of the fields, even when times are down. We now start the next parak, 33, looking at the people that are the exact opposite of the Zorei al Kol Mayim, the people that ride the waves of when things are good. They go ahead, stand tall and proud, and take advantage of other people and act as if they deserve whatever good times it is that they're having. The people that ride the waves at the top of the crest, but when things are down, don't even know how to handle it, don't know how to, they have no, because of their faith in themselves instead of their faith in God, they only know how to be haughty and arrogant and take advantage of others when things are good. So let's start this. Hoi shoded v'atolo shodud. Listen up, or woe to those who are shoded, those who take advantage of others, those who abuse others, but you have not been abused. Uvoged v'lo vagduvach. Those that rebel or those that hurt others, but no one else has hurt you. In other words, you take advantage of others in a situation not because you have any even semi-legitimate gripe against other people. Simply because you can take advantage of others. I am telling you now, kahatimcha shoded tushad, when your time is up and you're finished despoiling other people, you yourselves will get your due course. Kana los chaliv god yivgeduvach. When you have finished harming other people, then other people will harm you. The people that take advantage of others in those times are the opposite. Their philosophy, their ideas, is completely the opposite of those who are Zorei al Kol Mayim. And now we turn to Yeshayahu in the second verse, Pasuk Bet, turns to a prayer. He prays to God. He prays to God because now he's praying that his people, that he and his people should not be of the latter, but rather they should be of the former. They should be those who, no matter how good or bad times are, stick with justice, stick with righteousness, and stick with God. And he goes and says the following prayer: Adonai chanenu, God have mercy upon us. L'cha kivinu, it is for you that we have hoped, not for the ability to despoil others and to take advantage of others, but what we want is you. Heyei ziro'am labikarim, let there be their strength, labikarim, for the morning times, afishu aseinu be'etz tzara, and also be our deliverance even during the times of suffering. Here again he asks that we be with those people that stick with God, both in the big karim in the mornings when things are good, and also the Yeshuatenu, when you also are deliverance even during the times of bad. Mikol hamon nadudu amin. Why? Because we know that you, God, have the power with the sound of roaring of God. Nations shall shake. Me'rama musecha, from your greatness, nafzu goyim, entire nations become spread apart and scattered. Usaf shilal chemosef chazil, and we know that the destruction that will come to those who take advantage of others in the times of good, those that aren't able to understand that even during bad times we still have to maintain faith in God. All of those people, all of their booty, everything that they've gained During the good times, Osef, for at least the good times for them, Osef HaChasil will become gathered like the stuff that becomes gathered by the locusts. Like a mass of grasshoppers, just a mass of destruction and devouring the bounty that they had accumulated. Niskav Adonai, but God is great. Ki shochein marom, because He rests on high. His greatness is above that of ours. It's nothing to do with the ups and downs of our lives on this earth. Milei Tzion mishpat u'tzedakah. God fills Zion. Remember, Zion is the symbol of mishpat u'tzedakah, justice and righteousness. This is what God is about: justice and righteousness. Not about taking advantage of others and becoming wealthy or great or powerful or so on. This next pasuk is somewhat a famous one, but it's a little bit difficult to translate. Pasuk Vav, the 6th verse. But it's such a beautiful way of explaining and describing the ideas that Ishayahu has been saying in these chapters. V'haya amunasi techa chosen yeshuos chochmas v'doas. And the emunah, the faithfulness of your times. In other words, your ability to stick through all the times, no matter what. The emunah, the faithfulness that helps you get through the times and helps you bring out the promise of the future time when things will be full of mishpat u'tzedakah. Chosen yeshuos. What is it that protects this deliverance to you? Chochmat v'doat. It is knowledge and understanding. Yeshayahu said, if you remember, in many places, if we look back at Parak 5, where Yeshayahu was criticizing people that accumulate wealth and did not use that wealth for the proper purposes. What did he say back then? I'm just looking back. What did they do? Then looking at verse 12, verse 11 and 12 in chapter 5. These people that mashkimi baboker, they get up in the morning, and the sheikher dov, they look after drunkenness, vayakinar v'nev, and they party, and in the chapter, et poal Adonai lo yabitu, but they don't look and at the works of God. Umaseh doloro, lochein gola ami mibli da'at. Therefore, my nation is being exiled because they did not pursue knowledge. They didn't look at God's world. They did not pursue knowledge. However, your chosen yeshuot over here, he says, what it will guarantee that you will find deliverance here in our chapter. He says, chochmat v'da'at. It is pursuit of knowledge. And what does pursuit of knowledge come from? Yirat Adonai otzoro. Where is the foundation, the fund of knowledge, the treasure house of knowledge is Yirat Adonai. If you respect God, then you respect His creations, and you seek to learn about it, study about it, read about it, find out knowledge about it, understand it. That is how one achieves emunah techa, a faithfulness in times that no matter what, you will stick with God whether the times are up or down. Let's continue into verse 7. This is not going to be an easy road. There's going to be down times. Hein elam tzoaku chutza. The elam, the angels that protect Ariel, that protect the holy mountain, the temple. Tzoaku chutza, they're crying outside. Malachei shalom, the messengers of peace, Mariv Koyun, are crying bitterly because of all the suffering that we need to go through during the exile. Noshamu mesilos shavasovar orach. The highways are desolate. There's no one going on the paths. Sefer Brit Moas Orim. The promise has been ruined. The promise of having a land and a country that is full and bountiful seems to have been taken away. Moas, because Moas Orim, the cities are disgusting. Lo chashav enosh. There's no people around anymore. Oval umlola haaretz, hechbir Levanon kamal. the land has now become wilted and dried up. The Lebanon has which was fertile and green has now become like a desert. Hayahasharon karava v'no erbashon v'chamel. Times are bad. Times are bad. And these are the times when even the angels that protect Jerusalem, the angels that protect the people in general are gone. They're crying. However, Atah kum yomar Adonai, God says, now I will get up. Atah eromim, now I will be exalted. Atah, and I say I will be lifted up. But when me being lifted up, says God, unfortunately comes with pain, but it's the pain that's due justice, that it comes from the justice that is due. Taru chashash tel dukash. You're going to become pregnant with hay and give birth to straw, because it's going to be easily destroyed by God's breath. Ruach Hachem, your spirit, Eish Tochachem, will be eaten by fire. God says, nations will become burnt like a sid, like lime. Dried out thorns will just become singed by flame. God says, because during this time of justice, there will be suffering. There will be accounts that will be called in. However, Shim'u Rechokim Asher Asisi, those of you that are far away, Yeshayahu has emphasized so many times that nations that are far and nations that are close, Rechokim, and Rashi here has a beautiful understanding. Rechokim meaning those who have been, quote, religious from birth, right? People that have been raised in the fold of religion. However, they're Rechokim, they're far, because everything they do is by rote. And Udu'u Krovim, and know those who are close to me are those that chose to join the people, those that chose to come back, those that were not raised with ideas and understanding of God that come back. Those are Krovim because they came themselves. But also, I think it would be more likely that he's referring to the faraway nations that Yeshayahu has so many times said will be gathered under God's wing. Krovim, the ones that are close, are the ones that are here, the ones that are near Zion, the ones that know the message, and some of whom listened, some of whom didn't, but know all the things that I've done and know my power. Pachadu v'tzion chatoim. You should be afraid. The sins that are in Zion, be afraid. Achazaru adoch anifim. Those of you who are guilty of flattery and false words and false ideas. Mi hagur lanu eisho chela. Who is going to be able to live here during the time when the fire is burning us? Mi yagur lanu mokdei olam. Who is going to live among us? Mokdei olam. Here I want you to refer to Tehillim 24, where Yeshayahu is clearly referencing the same idea. He's saying, I'm telling you about a future where both God will be exalted and things will be wonderful, and Zion will have mishpat and tzedakah, and also a time of terrible suffering. So Yeshayahu is telling us the answer. He's asking the question, listen up, those of you that are far and those of you that are close. Be afraid, those of you that are full of sin and full of chanifa and full of flattery and falseness. Who is it? Who is going to be the ones that can live forever, Mokdei Olam, and be in this and enjoying the redemption? It reminds us very much of the words in the Psalm Tehillim 24, where King David asks in the Psalm, Mi aleh b'har Adonai, mi yakum b'mkum kadsho. Who is the one that can climb the mountain of God and can stand in His holy place? Who is it? If you recall from Tehillim, it said, Neki chapayim, one who has clean hands, meaning he doesn't steal, he's honest. Uvar levav, a pure heart, who's honest with God and honest with himself. Asher lo nasal ashav nafshi, someone who does not engage in falsehood, v'lo nishbal mirma, and doesn't swear falsely. He's a bracha meis Adonai, he's the one that gets blessing from God. Utzedakah me'elohei yisho, and he's the one that will enjoy the righteousness of his God of deliverance. And over here, now how does Yeshayahu answer that question? It's of course going to sound very familiar. In verse 15, Holech tzedakot v'dover mesharim, someone who walks in righteousness and speaks justly. Mo'es bevetza ma'ashakos, it's disgusting to him to get profit from false dealings and from dealings which take advantage of others. No'er kapav mitamoch b'shochad, he pulls his hands away from getting bribery. Otemas no mishma damim, he refuses to listen to words that incite to violence. And he closes his eyes from seeing evil. Hu miromim yishgon, he is the one who is going to rest in the high places. Mitzados elohim iskabo, he is the one who will his stronghold will be the high rocks of solid foundation. Nitan lachmo nitan me'mavnem anim, his bread will be given, his water will be trustworthy. Remember, Zorei al Kamayim, because he can plant on all waters. Melech biyafio tachazena, you, the person that lives this way, that acts this way, he is the one who will see the king in his full beauty. He is the one who will be able to see the faraway lands. Libcha yehaget ema, it is your heart. You are the one. This verse, Libcha yehaget ema, says your heart will know fear, will feel fear, and then or shall state in fear. Yehaget shall state or murmur or mumble. And what is the questions that you're going to ask? Is Aye Sofer, Aye Shokel, Aye Sofer Samigdalim. Where is the counter? Where is the one who measures things? Where is the one who counts the buildings? There's various ways to understand who is you, right? You could be referred to as the enemy is now going to say, where is all my stuff? Where's my towers? Where's the one who is counting all my money? But I think that this is Yeshayahu talking to the people saying, you are going to be afraid. Why are you going to be afraid? You're going to be you're used to living in a world where it was all about the Sofer and the Shokel and the Sofer Samigdalim. It was all about the pride, the money, the business, the measurements, the big buildings, right? And you're going to look around scared. You're going to have Ema in your heart. You're going to look around scared. Where is that world? You, the people of Israel, where is that world that I'm used to? I'm used to that world. Even though it wasn't fair, it wasn't nice, but it was what I was used to. Where is it? Et amno ozlo tireh. No longer are you seeing this nation that is arrogant, that's ruling over you, that's running everything, this arrogant nation. Am imkei safa mishmoah, these people that speak with depth in languages that are difficult to understand, not because you don't understand the language literally, but because everything they say is confusing. It's topsy-turvy. They turn it upside down, right? If you remember, if we again go back to chapter 5, verse 20, Yeshayahu is referencing back to what he told us about before. The people that are arrogant, what do they do? Ha'omrim lo ra'tov v'la'tov ra, samim choshech la'or v'olachoshech. The people, they confuse you. When the arrogant people, they try to make the good look bad. They try to make the bad look good. They try to make the towers and the money and the shokel and the measurements, and they try to make it as if this is good. This is the good stuff. This is the good thing, right? They think they're smart. Gibor matzdike rasha ekev shochad. They make the Rasha look as if he's the righteous one because of bribery. They make it seem good. They make it sound good. So, and Yeshayahu continues here in verse 19. There's no understandings of their confusing languages, right? Because they're constantly saying things that are false, that are upside down, that are topsy-turvy, trying to make what's really bad into good, and trying to make it sound just when it's really not. Chazei Tzion Kiryat Moadenu, however, don't look towards that. Don't worry. Don't think, where is all the Sofer, the Moneh, the Sofer HaMigdolim, right? The counter of the buildings. Rather, Chazei Tzion, look at Zion. Kiryat Moadenu. Zion is the capital of our Moadim, our holidays, right? The holidays that celebrate the ideas that that are so that define our value system, which is so different from that value system. Einecha tirenu Yerushalayim. Look at Jerusalem, Novesh Hanan, a reliable dwelling place. Ohel Bal Yitzon. It is a tent that does not it's not going to leave. It's not going to be transported. Bal Yisai Yisedo Sov Lanetzach. Forever, it will never pick up and leave and go. V'chol Chavalov Bal Yinoteku. Its chains will not become pulled. Remember again, back to chapter 5. If you look back at chapter 5, when he talked about Chavlei Hashav, right? Moshchei Havon b'Chavlei Hashav in verse 18 in chapter 5. Those that are pulling you with sin, with the ropes or the chains of falseness. But this Chavalav, the Chavalim of Mitzrayim, Bal Yinoteku, will never get torn. The ropes and chains of falseness they're only good at the times of good, but when the times get rough, they mean nothing. Ki im sham adir Adonai lanu, because he says in verse 21 back here in our chapter, it is God is great to us only here in Jerusalem. Makom neharim, a place of rivers, the orim rachavei yodayim, that are generous, that are open. Bal telech bo onishayet. The great ships of war don't go there. But see adir lo yavirenu, and the tall towers that are on the ships, the masts, they don't come there. Why? Ki Adonai shofetenu. It is God who is our judge. Adonai mechokekenu. It is God who keeps track. It is not the person in the market who's measuring and weighing and selling and being. It's Adonai malkeinu. It is God who's our king. Hu yoshienu. He is the one who will save us. Nitshu chavalayech. Your ropes, the ropes of falsehood, are taken away. Bal yechazku kein tornam bal parsunes. They will no longer, the strength, their ships and the signs and the flags that they come with are not any longer here. Oz chulak ad shalol. Then the bounty, instead of being gathered up and destroyed by the grasshoppers and the locusts, but rather marbe pischim zubaz. Who is it that's going to get the bounty? Who is it that's going to get the benefit? Pischim, the lowest rungs of society, the people that are cripples, the pischim, the cripples, the people in the streets, the beggars. Suddenly they are going to be the ones who benefit from this just society of God. He goes from the power tall ships and everything to the lowest rungs of society. That's what Jerusalem stands for. Uval Yomar in verse 24, Shachein Chalisi. And no longer will you turn to your neighbor, and the neighbor cries and cries, Chalisi, I am ill, I am sick, I don't feel well, I'm not well. Rather, Hayoshev ba Nesu Avon, one who lives in the Zion, which stands for justice and righteousness, Nesu Avon. Their sins will be forgiven, because they stuck through the good times, the bad times, the hard times, the rough times, and they stuck with God. Thank you so much for studying chapter 33 together. Looking forward to studying chapter 34 together.